Hello, welcome to the Busy Mom Club. Today we have a gorgeous guest, Damon Hague, who I have met from Ultraflex in Derby. Hello.
Hello.
Damon is personal trainer, 55, former undefeated British kickboxing champ, British Masters kilo champion, two times world champion in boxing, European champ, Midlands area champ. Now I understand the mad amount of discipline you have.
Yeah, well, thank you. Sounds quite impressive.
It is impressive. Do you miss the martial arts?
No, I don't miss any of it because I think we were talking a little bit before that I'm quite an extreme character. So while I had the opportunity to do those things, I did it 100%. So there's no left stone left unturned with me. Like I don't look back yearning over anything because I literally took it to the wire on everything. So when I retired from boxing, I'd done everything. Not that I felt I could achieve. Not I thought I was want to be the best pound for pound. No, I was just had a dream as a kid, and I was overjoyed at just winning one, let alone the things that I had won. So for me, when it came time to finish, although it was a bitter pill to swallow because I loved it, it was like, yeah, I've surpassed anything I dreamed of. So for me, it was like, yeah, I don't look longingly back at any of it because I did it. I did everything I could when I had the chance. Do you know what I mean? I never wanted to be that guy. I could have been this when I was a kid. Oh well, could have been a shoulda. I was like, no, mate, don't be
I had
that
a
guy.
knee injury.
Yeah, just all of that shit. Like I don't like that. I just give it everything you've got while you've got. And if you're not good enough, you're not good enough. But at least you know. But don't make excuses. I don't like that. So I don't look back at anything.
That's a really nice way to be. I love that. So, did you start your PT after that then?
Well, I started PT in the first coaching course I took was 1997, 98. And I did it because I was turning professional boxing around about 96, 97, or, with a view to do that. And I needed an income that allowed me to train. And because the very boxing in the early days, particularly back then, but even certainly now, when you're like a neo pro, a new pro, they all work full time. So if you've got to do shifts or you've got a manual labour job, it's bloody hard graft. So I kind of figured that I needed to do something that was in sport, which I wanted to do, which allowed me to train, almost full time like a boxer, and then didn't impede my career in any way. And and I was always into sport anyway, so I went off and did some courses then, and I studied quite a bit, and got cracking into that early on, just so I could keep boxing without it really causing me too much problems. So that was back in 97, 1998, yeah. So it's a long
I
time
love
ago.
that. I love yeah, I love your like no bullshit approach on Instagram. I
Mm.
think more of that is needed in this industry
Mm.
for sure. Are you brutal like that with your clients?
No, I think brutal is a strong word, but I'm pretty direct, yeah. And I know, I've done this a long time, so fortuitously, I think the interesting thing is, and we can branch onto what you've just said about Instagram, which is my pet hate. My Instagram should be a lot more active. I'm very inactive in it, just on principle, by the way, which some could argue is losing me. Some could say it's losing me business, but I don't want to be false. So if I don't want to sit talking shit every day to people and making films, are we making content worth reading, or are we making films? Are you a filmmaker or are you a coach? It's become grey. So do you know what I mean? Like that's my feeling on all that stuff. I don't like it at all. But yeah, in terms of like stuff with your clients, I've got quite a stringent vetting process when people come on board. So I get an inquiry, and I have like a terms and conditions which lays out how I work. And then if you are interested, I then have a PARQ, which is like a 6-7 page document, which if you should really, everyone should do that, but they don't. And what happens is it kind of filtrates out people if they're not serious, or they probably think, oh, it's too much, that is, or it's a bit too serious. Or so by the time people get to me and they know I really want to do this, you seem to attract the same kind of people. So I've got most of mine are business people. They're driven. Even the ladies, they're all driven. They're focused. They adhere to programs. You kind of create like you attract the clients. I think that you that you want or you should want, really. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because I don't have anybody dragging their heels, and although I'm very direct, I am there for them. So I think no bullshit is probably right, but direct. But yeah, I just can't do the whole fake stuff. It's just not me. I'm just not that kind of person. I'm not wired that way, and this industry is just full of it, which really gripes me.
I think what you see is what you get with you, which is what everybody loves about you. I think that's an amazing trait to have.
Easy or dislikes. It's just that it's one of them, isn't it? You either people. I've always said, I'm like Marmite. You either like me or you
No
hate
one
me.
dislikes you.
No, I don't know.
Don't believe it.
You ask right enough, people will, But yeah, I've got like a very low threshold for any of that shit that I see on Instagram, and everyone's trying to have a USP, right? An ultra selling point. What's their unique selling point? What they're trying to do? No, just be good. That's your selling point, mate. Have a history of sport or something, but be good at what you do. You don't need to. Everyone's trying to sell themselves, and you see everyone in the gym filming all the time and being dead nuanced with the training. Dude, just train, man. Train hard. Lift off. Nail your food on. Have some longevity in the gym, and then think about getting a bit more nuanced. But they don't, and everyone's trying to, film themselves and do this, and I get it, but come on, man. It's like, what, you're telling me the better you film, the more clients you get? This industry's not even like, it's not even, we're not even like monitored, or you can just call yourself an online coach and have no qualifications and take people. You could do, how many people do you know in the gym have done one show themselves and are now saying to themselves they're a coach? It's everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's everywhere. People are just do it. I don't know in the industry like it. You can call yourself anything you want, and people do constantly in this place.
Like celebrities now as well, isn't there, that are like in good shape themselves and then kind of go on a show, become really popular, and then start their own online program or start an app. But because they've got such a massive following and loads of finance behind them,
100%.
It gets hit. It's a hit, isn't it? It's frustrating.
If you're doing it for followers and you're just doing it to get a tick, or you're doing it for a like, then you're in it for the wrong, for the wrong reasons. Like, you should constantly want to watch and constantly learn and constantly, be on this quest for more. And this industry's amazing for that. Like, particularly with the internet now, like, you can learn every day from some very, 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 very elite coaches and interesting people who teach you so much. And like, follow the right people, follow the coach, follow the guys who teach the coaches, follow the guys that all the old people watch. Do you know what I mean? Like, people like John Meadows, good, Charles Poliquin, amazing. These people, like I could know Eric Seifert, who teaches all the coaches. He teaches all the coaches because he's a physio based. So he's an app physiology is just second to none. And he'll tell you why things work, and it's dead interesting if you look into it. But people don't. All they want to do is they're getting tick boxes and they're saying, "Oh yeah, I'm this and I'm that." I'm like, "Hey mate, you make amazing videos. You put a lot of content out. You're talking shit all the time, and I can't stand it. And for me, it makes me sick. It does honestly really annoys me. I get it all the time off my clients, like my entrepreneur clients, who go, "You're missing a trick. Like you've got to do more videos. You've got to do this because it's the forum that we use and stuff." I'm like, yeah, I know that, but I just find it so false unless I've got something to say, which I'm never sure of a few things.
I think true. I think where Instagram's going now, though, lately, is less fake, less put together content. And I think you would do really well with that, because people are sick of seeing fake shit, being drawn towards, just someone just holding a camera and being real and being normal. And I think, like, because you've a lot, I think you've got a lot of wisdom to share. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be fancy, I don't think.
No.
And I struggle as well sharing my workouts and stuff, because, as you do the same shit every week.
My work.
So listen, I find
just for reference, my workout and my coach Jamie Harrison, bless him, respect to Jamie, he's brilliant. My workouts have changed for a year. I do the same every day because by repetition of doing the movement, you become so optimized at it, and like you tweak it, and You know, like you can get better at everything all the time. There's no need to change it. So, you know, I remember clients I've had in the past going, "Oh, can you send me a new workout out?" I'm like, "No, of course I can't.
Oh.
You're not doing that one right." Do you know what I mean? What is
Yeah.
this? It's not a circus. Oh yeah, can you do some juggling today? All right, okay, yeah, of course we can. You know what I mean? Like it's not. It's like
Yeah.
you should be nailing on the movements to become really, really good at it to engage and to feel every rep. Don't switch off. You know, you should be knackered by the time you finish an hour just through concentration and trying to engage all the muscles that you're trying to work. And people miss that. It's like the engagement of and the intensity with intent that you're trying to work. It should be really every rep should be the same. But that's missed all
Yeah.
the time. Or you've got skinny kids telling you how to train. You're like, dude, you're not even £200, mate. You couldn't lift the weight. You know, back in the day, you looked at the monsters and like, yeah, I'll listen to you, mate, because you knew what you were doing. You used to go to the local gym, and I've been in gyms ever since I was a kid. And there were a lot of guys back then were massive. And people would know, you know, from the Derby era of Warren Treasure and people like that. He was a monster and still is a big guy. I saw him not long ago. You know, but you know they know what they're doing because clearly they have a lot of
Yeah.
muscle tissue on the frame. So likewise, you know,
Yeah.
people have done a course or they've got into not bad shape and now they're trying to tell people what to do. Well, it's a lifetime, you know, like, and if you're around decent coaches and you have a coach yourself, I've got a coach and I've had a coach of, you know, I've had a couple like who were very good. You know, Aaron was very good, and you know, I've had Joe, who's a mate of mine, help me and mentor me through stuff. And like, you want to be around people who are better than you and who see more than you, and you're not objective yourself. You're not. Honestly, I don't believe you are. It's I find it very difficult to train myself, to manage myself in my own training and stuff because I'll just do more until I break. And that's not. I need someone to slow me down and say, do this, do that, and I need that as well. You know.
I'm like that, but I'll keep eating more as well.
Well, listen, you know,
So,
it's a bit like that. We've all got a little bit in us.
I don't know. You're probably a bit more
Nah, no, mate, I've got it
disciplined
all.
than me. So you've spent your whole life in the fitness industry in one way, in one area or another. How has like your focus changed as you've gotten older?
Hey, listen, if you stay the same as you were as a young man as you are as an older man, you're in trouble, aren't you? Like you've got to evolve, haven't you? You just knowledge it evolves. You become a lot more. Your perspective changes. As you get older, don't you? You know what I mean? Like life will teach you that, and
Yeah.
if it doesn't, then you know you're not you're not in a good place if you can't evolve and learn from your lessons and stuff along the way. I think a lot of it when I was younger, I was so driven with boxing. Like people who know me back in the past will sort of vouch for this, but you know, I lived a very sparse life back then. You know, I lived in Sheffield because the gym I trained at was in Sheffield. I used to come back to Derby at the weekends, and I was just so intense. Like, just nothing mattered more than that till I retired. So it's very difficult to comment about that period because I just had a sole focus to fight, and I gave it everything I've got, 100% of my time. It took everything out of me to do it. Other lads could juggle families and, you know, wives and daughters, and they could do all that. Me, I just couldn't do any of that. I just barely even look after myself other than just eat and train because that's just all I did. I was just so
Yeah.
100% focused. I couldn't manage anything else. After, I don't know, maybe I was a little bit more narcissistic in terms of being in shape, what I thought was the right reasons. But as I've got older, I understand, like, as we get older, I'm 56 in October. You want as much muscle tissue on your frame as you can. You don't want to be a skinny fat guy now or a skinny fat woman now. You want, you know, for osteoporosis, ligaments, bone, you know, you want to put some muscle tissue on. You know, all this that I see, I don't know what happens to people when they hit sort of probably 40, 50. They start doing crazy amounts of cardio and doing no weights. I'm just like, then they drop all the calories down. They're like skin and bone and frail. You know, like you don't want to be that. You want to be the opposite. You want as much food in your system as you can. You want to keep your metabolism flying because everything's slowing down. You want as much muscle tissue on your frame as you can because that's dwindling as well. And you want to stay, you know, for want of a better word, jacked because it's been studied as Alzheimer's preventing. You know, you're healthier for it. all of the health benefits for it is so important. So, like, I think that's, as I've got older, it's less just in a photo shoot, which sounds a little bit contradictory, but it's less aesthetic, although that is a byproduct of it, clearly. But it is driven more by health and trying to be optimal the best way you possibly can with food, supplementation, how you live your life. Like, I don't drink anymore. I stopped drinking a long time ago because I'm not a very good person when I've had a drink. So I cut that out. I eat very healthily all the time, and it's just consistency, isn't it? So I think my perspective has changed from an element of narcissism in it, or God forbid us. But I think it was slightly more narcissistic and aesthetic based than it is now. Although I can't say entirely that's not true. There is a little bit of that in, clearly. Come on, but it's not the big driver. What I mean, Scarlett, I think it's really, really important.
You're harsh with yourself, because I think that is the case for a lot of people, like in their 20s. They, we're all the same. We all wanted a really good body, and I literally went to the gym just for that. It was complete vanity, and when my personal trainer put more weight on the bar, I was like, nah, I don't care about being strong. I just want to be thin. And that, I remember saying that to her. But when I find now, because I'm like coming up to 40, and the clients that I get are usually my age or older, it is. They do say to me, I wanna be a healthy old person. I want to be able to move. I don't want to be a burden. And you do start to really think about that. And I think it's important that that's the driver, and not just, looking in the mirror and thinking, yeah, I look all right.
100%. I mean, we've all, look, there's menopausal women and there's andropausal men. So both men and women do go through a change. I hit 50 and things changed for me. And I remember someone saying to me when I was 45, I was still flying, like literally, felt great. I hit 50 and I was like, oof, something's happening here. Like, I don't feel the same. Hormonally, things must be changing. So I went to see a hormone doctor to get everything in order, because I was like, I need to see this. A friend of mine got Dr. Martin Kinsella in Manchester, and he was like, yeah, you basically all my hormones are on the knees. And what's sad is most women and men don't even understand that. So this whole thing of getting to our age, it's been proven. And a book changed me when I read it. It's called The Testosterone Revolution, and it's the andropause in men. And this thing about blokes going through a midlife crisis, it isn't. It's not a midlife crisis. You've got low testosterone, mate. And what they are doing, they leave their wives, they try and get a young girlfriend, they buy a sports car, all these things that people think, oh, it's a midlife crisis. No. And men and women work at different levels. It can be a lot earlier for women or later, it's case dependent. And these things are contributing factors. So, it really annoys me that coaches don't understand this. They've got like a middle-aged woman that they're driving through crazy HIIT workouts. They're driving the calories low. She'll never be in shape because her hormones are wrong. And you get them intact. They should be having blood tests. You get all them intact, and all of a sudden it's like, right, this is out of sync, that's out of sync, that's out of whack. And all of a sudden you get those into line, and things now trigger because, they're not producing things anymore. So it's way more complicated. So as we get older, you have to take those into consideration. It's how you live your life, whether you drink so much, whether you smoke, whether you eat really bad food. They really, really matter. So, whoever was trying to get in shape, go make sure you should be having a blood test every 6 months, certainly past a certain age. But even if starting an intense program, you should be doing that. I'm paying privately to do it, by the way. I'm not saying go to the NHS. That's an absolute. They don't help you. They don't even know, to be honest. But ultimately, it's a lot more complicated as you get older, for sure.
I'm glad you've brought that up, because I definitely wanted to talk to you about that today, because you've mentioned it to me in the gym before about men going through andropause. And honestly, to be honest, I hold my hands up. I didn't know. I knew it existed, but I didn't know hardly anything about it until I've kind of researched it a little bit for this podcast. And I found that, men's testosterone peaks at like age 20, which is wild. And then after 30, we start to, obviously it's not a massive drop like women's hormones, but it's a gradual thing after 30, like it is. And So how much do you think lifestyle does play into it? You've touched on it a little bit there, but like obviously if you're a man of a certain age and you know you're drinking a lot, you're smoking a lot, you're not really engaging in any exercise, do you think that will play like a massive role in feeling like shit when you get to
I think that's just an accident waiting to happen for sure. It's going to compound. You know, you're already going baseline levels on your hormones, which are going to affect mood. They're going to affect weight loss. They're going to
yeah,
affect sexual desire. I mean, it's everything. Do you know what I mean? It's really important.
yeah,
Throw in bad lifestyle on top of feeling shit and stress, mate. You're just a walking time bomb. You know. So,
yeah,
but here's the thing: most people don't understand how good you can feel because they feel shit all the time. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like go speak to a woman who's going through menopause and they're having hot sweats and they feel terrible and like it's all gone to pot. Like the sad thing is the HRT they give you at the doctors, it isn't the one. It's not. It's not bioidentical. They give you bad chemicals and stuff. You know, and the sad thing is some people can't afford it. So you have to go privately and administer it yourself, and get some advice, and they will help you administer it. It's not done on the NHS, so it's really bad. But you're on a different topic there because I think they don't want you healthy. They don't want you to self-administer. They don't want you to look at stuff. They want you to give you some more pills. They want you to be out of shape because there's money in all of the treatment, right? We know that, but that's a whole different subtext. Like that's just a given in life. I just know that. So you have to take responsibility yourself. For sure you do. So yeah, lifestyle will help. You can get a big part of feeling better about yourself by eating clean whole foods, eating sugary stuff and fried stuff and crap food. If I say crap food, if I put a plate of broccoli down and give you a plate of shit food, you know what's good and what's bad. People do. It's like, oh, what should I eat? And you know what to eat. Don't eat all the crap.
yeah,
Don't eat all the good. Eat whole food. Don't eat processed food. Keep your fluid intake high with water and decent stuff. Limit your drinking. Try to limit your caffeine intake, and you've got a big chunk of it there. But even then, it's a little bit more complicated. But yeah, it's massive. Yeah, you can get a real chunk of the way on looking after yourself for something. Taking the holistic approach by taking the right supplementation and food and stuff like that. You can get a big part of the way. But the next part is it's a little bit more complicated than that. But yeah, definitely. I think most people are in a hole and they don't even know they're in a hole. They absolutely don't. Honestly, they don't. You can just see by the bodies, they're toxic, they're overweight. Blokes are spilling with estrogen because of all the crap food and toxicity they've got. They've got pot bellies, they've just got no muscularity. I'm sure if you took back blokes in the 1920s when they were 70 and blokes when they're 70 now, I bet it's a completely different look. I didn't take much research on the internet to do it. There's no doubt, just by the nature of how much we've declined in that amount of time, we've declined massively. Do you know what I mean? We really, yeah, definitely, yeah. Like we may be technologically advanced, but we are not physically advanced. I don't care what anybody says. We're not. No. We're not physically advanced at all. We've gone backwards.
Do you think though it's changing back? Because I see a massive rise in, gym being like a bit of a fashion statement, for the teenagers of today. I do feel like it is becoming more of a thing. Like my daughter's got a gym in her school, which is wild. Like there is no way I lifted a weight when I was a teenager. Never in a million years.
I do. It's because the Lancaster gym I did those trainings.
I just think it's now becoming more of a bit of a boom. Obviously, there's been a big decline in alcohol sales in that generation as well, which is amazing.
What's interesting is my mate's got clubs, and I was talking to him literally about this, and he was saying part of the decline of the club scene, in his opinion, is the whole youth coming through are heavily into fitness. And he was saying it's having an effect. So it's not a big cool thing anymore for 20-year-olds to go out getting drunk and off the head on drugs. Most of them don't drink, or should I say limit their drinking. And that has had a massive effect when we were kids, like the first thing you did when you was 18, we used to go into town, get smashed and have a great weekend. And, even I did that, for a few years, it was one of those situations where I think you're right, it is changing. And I hope it does. you're not to put people out of business who are in clubs. I'm just saying to you, it's just for as a whole of people, it's not such a bad thing at all. Kids being into sport and trying to look good for the right reasons, and even the wrong reasons, it's not a bad thing. As long as they don't hurt themselves and take the wrong things, and girls get driven into sort of anorexia and those type of those hideous things that they get into with bulimia and stuff, just trying to dictate how they look. But if it's managed correctly, it's never a bad thing, yeah, for sure. But I also think as well, it's you're a product of your environment, aren't you? Like, hopefully, you are around people who look after themselves and they can teach you how to do it yourself. Often it's learned behaviour, isn't it? We've got to try and teach them differently, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I think seeing your parents do it, I know for a fact that watching my mum, like, I'm one of 5 kids, and we didn't have a lot of money growing up, but my mum she'd either be out running when my dad got home from work, or she'd put on a fitness video in the living room and I'd do it with her. I was quite small, quite young, and so I saw her training for like my whole childhood. And so I just knew that's what you did. And I think it triggers some people, I know it does, and I get that. But at the same time, you have got a responsibility to show
Totally agree.
that it is an important part of life, whether you like it or not. Yeah, I definitely think we've got a duty as parents to show them.
The thing is, what people don't understand is, if you were really strict on your diet, and I'm talking super, super strict, and all you had time for was walking, you could walk yourself into pretty decent shape. Now, hear me out here. I'm not saying you'd be in fantastic muscular shape, but if you could strip a load of, people who are heavily overweight, if they went on a really calorie restrictive diet, it's been proven the more severe diet when you are overweight, you tend to stick to it better, and the results are very, very quick. If you just walked, I'm talking, a good, maybe 12,000 steps a day, 14,000 steps a day, which probably take an hour. If you had an hour a day, but if you just started with half an hour and really restricted your calories down to, I'm about a really decent, like, clean, I don't want to talk generic because people set me up on it, but I'm just saying, it's case dependent, isn't it? But I'm saying really restricted what they ate and kept it super clean. Yeah. They could walk themselves into pretty decent shape. Like, they could lose a lot of weight, So
my sister, when she had her son, she put on weight. I can't remember how much, but all she did when she'd had him was walk, because she'd had a C-section, and she literally lost all the weight through walking with the pram. I tell all my clients to get out at lunchtime in the morning if you can, and definitely get those steps.
Just move more. And the key is you can become a little bit more specific with it once you're in the flow. But stop eating, stop drinking so much of the crap, and start moving more. Just find something you like. And I'm not saying you should do what I do, but you should do something. You do need some form of resistant exercise just for tissue connectivity. Like your ligaments, your bone density. You need some form of resistance as well. But just as a start, 100%. Just get moving and moving away. Go walking with a friend. Do you know what I mean? Do something, but get moving in a way that's conducive to just getting you in a better shape. And then it's like the cogs of a wheel, isn't it? Then you're in the flow. Once you start moving, feel better about yourself. And then, you're moving and moving and then all of a sudden you're in the flow. You can start looking a bit more specific. But we have this chat constantly, and I have this chat sort of with my clients who are heavily invested. Like, people wouldn't think going out buying a pack of cigarettes for 20 quid. They go out drinking. Like, and I don't drink or smoke cigarettes. But if ever I hear how much they are, or I don't know, I go out and I buy someone a drink, or I'm in a round of drinks, I'm always astonished how much drink is, like, because I don't drink. It amazes me how expensive it is. I'm like people go out and will spend hundreds when they go out. When you start talking to people about the gym and get yourself a coach, and no, I can't afford that, or mate, it should be the first thing you should be doing is getting yourself sorted. Like you said, the investment into oneself is so important, man. But people don't. They've got this kind of twisted view on it. Like, you go out and spend hundreds of pounds on a dinner, or you go out and spend it on drink, and you wouldn't even think about looking after yourself. You got it twisted, mate. That's the first thing you should do. Knock all that shit on the head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, out for like family is a good 50 quid, isn't it? Before you've even, you know what I mean, got the sides and stuff. So yeah, I feel like
You don't get a coffee. A couple of coffees is 10 quid, isn't it?
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, and people are
get
spending
me
money left, right.
started.
But it's true that. So yeah, I totally get it. But
Yeah,
you know, like it's what you value, isn't it? You know, like I said, for all the history I've had in sport, I still have someone who I go to for steering me. You know, like
yeah,
everyone I know who's any good in any shape has got a coach. Do you know what I mean? Like it's obvious.
yeah, of course. And
Do
it's
you
the
know what I mean?
same, like yeah, with business as well. Like if you want
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
it's
mentor. Yeah,
quicker
for
and
sure. Yeah, yeah.
for somebody else who's done it, just to tell you what to do. Just tell me what to do and I'll go do it. And then
A
you get there
hundred
faster.
percent. A
I
hundred
would
percent.
much rather that.
But again, it comes back to this thing about what you value, doesn't it? If you don't value your health, but I'd say this to anybody. Everyone says it. Everyone's got that excuse. Yeah, be on your deathbed, mate. See how you feel then. Do you ever say, "Oh, I'm glad I didn't spend my money on health"? Most people wish they'd
Yeah,
had more time. You know, so don't
yeah,
be that guy or woman. You know, like I've got it with my mum at the minute. My mum's amazing. She's like really resilient. She's just, I've got her on a really good food program. She's on some really good supplements for her joints. You know, she's in the best shape she's ever been in, and cognitively, she's super sharp. You know, she's still driving around. She's like, mum's not really, really old. She's only 70. It's about 73, I think. Forgive me, mum, I forgot that wrong. But you know, she's doing really, really good. But she's taking it on upon herself. Now she's got my dad in the gym with her. You know, like she's having a good
no,
effect on everyone around her. Yeah, because she now is like, I've got to get a grip of this a little bit as I get older. I don't want to sort of fall apart so much, And she's the opposite.
yeah,
She's really digging in now. I'm like, Mum, it's fantastic to see. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's good to
She
have.
comes to see me once a week. Comes and sits to me with my dogs, and we chat about the past. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Like, and she's doing really amazing. She looks amazing. Looks $1 million, and a whole,
Yeah,
cognitively, she's just so much sharper now because of it. She's knocked the
yeah,
drinking on the head a little bit now, and she's looking after herself, and she's just so much more robust mentally. And I say to her all the time, I'm really proud of her. She looks amazing. Yeah. So it's not
oh,
never
that's
too old, is
lovely.
it? Yeah, it is. It's really good. It's really good to see.
Never too old. Absolutely right. What's so, we touched on it a little bit earlier, but
Mm.
so you're in the gym quite a lot. What kind of mistakes do you see? There's in our gym especially, it's full of
Mm.
young lads, and I love it. They do my head in, but I love it.
Mm.
It's nice to see. What mistakes do you see them making, if any?
I think there's so much information out. It's overwhelming. And what I mean by that is there's so much information and conflicting information. It's
Mm,
like they've got all this they've got all this scientific knowledge now at their fingertips, and they can watch stuff, and they'll go, right, I'll do that, and and I'll do this. Yeah, the guy you're listening to is £300, right? He's massive. He spent 20 years putting muscle on, or 10 years. He's not you, and these kids are like 11 stone. Do you know what I mean? They're not the same
yeah,
thing. I'd say to them more, and I've had this conversation with a young man recently as well. I said, you know, you'd do better being on a basic weight training program of
yeah,
these kids who've got not much muscle tissue. If they did a squat, a bench press, a shoulder press, and a bent over row, and
yeah,
did that really heavy, really hard, 3 times a week, whole body,
mm,
right, and ate a ton of food, rice, potatoes, meat, chicken, you'd put a stack load of muscle on. Instead of taking
yeah,
pre-workout, instead of doing single arm, nuanced, bent over, I don't know, some crazy kind of very specific for, the deep bottom part of the lat. Just build a back, dude. Just train.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, don't make it too complicated. And they're filming themselves and they're looking at it, and mate, just train, turn that flipping camera off, right? And just start training more. Okay, film yourself one rep or two, a couple of reps just to see if you're doing it right, and send it to your coach. I get that. I do get that, right? But don't worry. That you're looking too much into it. Like, you just want to get basic. Don't worry about buying protein powder. Don't bother buying any of that. Just eat really clean food. Load of eggs, loads of chicken, loads of mince. You see some of the really top class coaches. I saw one of them the other day, Justin Harris talk, who's a famous guy. He was saying, hey, As a young guy, you want to eat meat and rice till you can't eat anymore every single
Yeah.
day and lift really heavy. And then 95% of you will improve. The last 5%, you're probably not even going to be an Olympian. You're not going to get on stage. But, you'll find that out. Don't worry about drugs.
Yeah.
Don't worry about any of that. You'll have the newbie gains. You'll put a shit ton of muscle on, and you'll do it in the right way. So keep it really, really simple. And that's what I'd say to them all. You're making it too complicated. You're trying to follow programs of guys who are like a 300 pound who's spent all their younger years doing basic stuff. Who have got a load of muscle tissue on them. Kids who are under 200 pound, like trying to tell you how to train. You're like, dude, like, get jacked, get big, put a load of muscle on, and then start understanding what it's all about. That's what I'd say. Don't worry about that. I was saying to someone recently, like talking about food, trying to give them advice. Yeah, well, I haven't got much money. Went, yeah, I bet you buy a Monster, and I bet you buy pre-workout, and I bet you buy protein powder. Forget that. Go and buy some oats. Go and buy a big bag of rice. Go and buy some. You don't even have to have 5% mince. Buy 10% mince. Spice it all up. Make shit tons of it. Leave it in the fridge, and eat 300 gram of that every time you eat, 5 times a day. Simple,
I
mate.
had the only male I've ever trained, and he was like early 20s, and I trained him in my garage, so it was all free weights. And then he had a gym at home that was all free weights.
Yeah.
And he was really tall and a bit skinny, and he put on shed loads of muscle just from the basic training you were saying. Do you know what I mean? And just eat
100%.
all he ate, rice, chicken, tuna.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just get it down, yeah. It's boring.
And I say this to anybody, right? If money's a problem, then get yourself a gym fee and get the cheapest gym with the basic equipment in it. It's fine. Buy a big 10-kilogram bag of rice. Buy a big bag of oats. Buy loads of eggs. Buy loads of chicken. And buy loads of mince.
Yeah.
Buy some potatoes, which are cheap as chips. Batch cook them all off. Every time you eat, a good 200 gram of mince, 400 grams of rice, 300 grams of rice. As a young man, you can take it and whack that in. People say to me all the time, I can't put muscle on. Yeah, you're not trying hard enough, mate. Because you should be eating. It's not easy. Your body doesn't want to grow like that, but you've got to force it to. But the good news is, once you start eating 4,000 calories, you know what? You can eat 5. And you know what? You can eat 6. And all of a sudden, it's all good. And that's what you've got to do. But people make it too complicated. So, yeah, I'd say to them all. And I'd say this. Every single one of them in our gym, and I'm there every day, I laugh. Because they all think they can train. And not 90% can't. 80% can't. They train wrong. The tempo's wrong. They're not going full range. Or it's just bad. Bad form on everything. Feel, like I say, is I laugh and think, yeah, you lot think you can train. And if I came to you and said to you, what are you doing? Could you tell me why you're doing it and why? They probably couldn't even tell you because they've read it somewhere or watched it somewhere. But again, they've got to find that. But I find that very frustrating in the gym. Yeah, for me, it drives me mad. When I see, particularly in our gym, because it's just the cameras are everywhere. People are filming all the time, and what they don't understand is, and I tell them, the generations today, they're not cognitive of the people around them, and what they don't understand is, and this is what they must understand. I'd say this to men and women.
Yeah.
Some guys, if they are training and they're filming themselves training, and someone's taking some pictures of a woman next to you, and that she's in the pictures doing some bikini shots because she's doing a check-in. Their wives don't want to see some young girl with her pants on walking around their husband. Conversely, the women don't want to see their husbands doing the same, and the young youth of today just think, oh yeah, it's okay, like we're in the gym. No, their wives don't want to see that. Their husbands don't want to see that. Do you know what I mean? It causes problems. I've had these chats with them before. One guy was saying that I can't. This causes me problems if it's caught on camera, or they're taking pictures. He's in the back. The wives kick off, and I get it. There's so much more to it in the gym that they don't see. Do you know what I mean? They're not aware of it. But again, it's just a generational thing, isn't it? They think it's normal now. But yeah, don't be so bothered about filming stuff all the time, is what I'd say, and doing the nuanced stuff. Just train basically. But it's not sexy, is it? That get back to basics. 100. Train really hard. Train as heavy as you can before you fail.
Yeah.
Train hard and heavy. I'm not saying not do that, but you don't have to get really crazy with it. Just particularly when you're a beginner as well, because You'll have such good gains from doing really basic movements. Just do it, man.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, because it becomes so much harder as you get older. You know, you have to fight for everything
If
when you get older.
there's one listening to this who's struggling mentally and feels like, you know, they haven't really got the shit together in any aspect, what would you say to that person? Like, where would you say to start?
I'd say to anybody, if their life would be better if they get up in the morning and do basic things like clean your flat, make your bed, go for a walk, have a wash, clean your teeth, eat some clean food, get some more activity, drink some more water, start moving in a positive way. Don't be on the internet so much. Read a book. Go and help somebody and be
Yeah,
nice to somebody. Things like this in a world where no one really cares anymore. Go and do something selfless to somebody, and smile at somebody, or be nice to somebody, or go and help somebody. These basic things will make your life a better, and we live in a better world because of it. Like, we are so into ourselves, like people aren't looking out anymore. And it's a very simple thing to do, but I defy anybody who feels shit about themselves. Go and walk, go and do some like voluntary work in like the cancer hospital. That'll teach you some life lessons about there's some people really suffering in life. Your life's pretty good. Go and help some. I used to work at the RSPCA. I volunteered just because I love dogs, and I just at the time I couldn't have a dog, so I just went and just wanted to help, you know. Just seeing them things in
yeah,
need every day used to break my heart. It just taught me a bit more compassion about me. You know, do some selfless acts, but on a very base level, eat some clean food. Don't eat junk food. Don't eat sweets and pop. Drink some water. Eat some clean food. Go for a walk. You know, find an activity you like doing. And even if you haven't got many friends, read a book, put your phone down and spend less time on the internet and do some basic things. And I guarantee anybody they'll feel better about themselves. And then once you start feeling better about yourself, you can then really gain momentum with doing some things like, you know, finding a sport that you like, or, you know, it might be so big for people to take one step forward. But like they say, you know, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Just one step forward. Okay, you know, you're depressed and you can't get out your ass. Get up, make your bed, have a wash, have a
yeah,
shower, clean your teeth, go downstairs, cook some clean food, don't eat crap for that day, and go for a walk and see how you feel. I defy anybody to feel better. And then
yeah.
you know, like we've got so much at our fingertips that read, put your phone down, read some books, man, read some interesting stuff that's out there, you know, is what I'd suggest.
You're so
Basic.
right. Yeah, definitely. Like when the girls aren't with me and I'm just sat scrolling my phone, it's mind numbing, it's
It's mind
boring, it's
numbing. Yeah.
depressing.
Hey,
And
listen,
you get
we all
into,
do it, but you've got to stop it.
yeah,
You have to stop it. Go
you
out and
have,
do
and
something.
yeah, it is a horrible habit to get into, but it's so lonely and yeah, it's a really depressing habit to fall into,
For
and
people
yeah,
also, you
something
know,
that
it goes back to this point on Instagram, that bullshit that you look on there, this kind of perfect life you think. And if you got, you know, if you're not feeling good about yourself, you know, and you're looking at people on there sending pictures of themselves, think, you know, like,
yeah,
nothing's real on there, by the way. It's all bullshit.
no, of
You know, like, you're
course,
looking at people putting pictures on there and like, they probably don't even look like that now. You know, and ultimately, it's like, don't look so outwardly at things, and you know, just try to control the variables inside of yourself. But we live in a
for
crazy
sure.
world now, and everyone's
It
looking
is.
over the shoulder, and really, you know, just concentrate on your own shit, man. Just try to sort your own stuff out and stop
Yeah,
comparing yourself, and just do some simple stuff, man. Go out for a walk in the countryside, go and find someone to help. You know, go and do something selfless, man. Like, there's some really nice feelings, and some of the best things I've ever done is when you're helping somebody else. You know, when you're helping somebody in
for
need, and
sure.
you know, like, I don't know what that looks like. You know, you got to find that yourself. But it could be helping an animal in need. It could be helping a person in need. But just do something, man. You know, go and help.
Yeah,
But just do something more than just sitting watching that stupid phone. I just wish. I wish we didn't need it right now. You know, because I'd be analog, me, man. I'd be like way back. I'd be like on a phone with no internet. You know, the minute I don't need
I
that
know.
phone for work, I will not be on it. I will not be having email. I'll be going backwards. I'll literally, like, I want to get more analog. I do. I don't want to. I don't want to take any more than I need to. But we're just caught in this trap, aren't we? The moment of work. You know, you do need them to a
Yes.
certain. You know, like if I didn't have to go on Instagram again, I'd tell you the world would be a better place for me. But I have to have
Yeah.
a presence so people can
So,
find me. I just have to for work, and I wish I
yeah.
didn't. And I'm not enough on it anyway. I don't hardly do out on myself. It's very rarely about me. I'm very conscious of not looking like some narcissistic dick, you know. But people just,
I'm on it a lot, and I find, business mentors are like, share more, and I'm
oh
like, I
I know,
physically can't.
I just
I
makes me feel
physically
sick.
feel like I'm
Makes me feel sick.
constantly sharing my whole life anyway.
It makes me feel sick. Honestly, I just think bullshit. You're
It's
talking
hard.
shit. This is how I do a lateral raise, and I think, oh, piss off, mate. Just talk some sense.
That's
You know,
what you
just
think when you see me.
no, not at all. No, don't mean that.
It's
No, I
hard,
just mean no,
Charlotte.
because I know. You know, like I know you're cool, so it's different. But you know, like people are repeatedly just doing something. God, it's formulaic. I know why you're doing it, but just like fuck, do we have to do that? Do we really
I
have to
know.
do that to be any good in this world? And it seems like you do. And it's
Yeah.
like there's something about me that's always be anti-establishment. Like I reject it. I don't like think I may lose out. I know that, but
I don't think you do. I
maybe not.
honestly don't think you do. I don't. I think well, your business is booming anyway. I don't think you do. And I feel like like you said with your onboarding thing, I think that's a really cool way of doing things, and you're going to attract the right people for you. And I think word of mouth is still one of the most amazing things anyway.
I don't follow up. I'm telling you, I have hundreds of follow-ups that I could follow up on people who I speak to. I give clients
Yeah.
away. I do. Well, if I get someone comes to me and they want to train, I always think you're better suited to so and so. I did it the other week with somebody. I passed them on to somebody else. Like
Yeah.
I think you're better suited to this person. Oh, do you think so? Yeah, I
Mm.
do. I genuinely do. And I'm like, I'm not bothered. I'm not saying I don't want new clients because yeah, of course. But I don't want to be a busy fool either. Do you know what I mean? I think when I know lads
Yeah. Me and
in
my sister, same thing.
yeah, you don't want to be a busy fool. You want to give people quality and time, and a service. I think as well. Which I think is important. Can you do that if you've got
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of clients? I don't think you can. Maybe you can. But I know some of the the more bigger names in our industry. You'd be surprised how much money they're making, Scott. They're making, oh mate, they're hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands. But they're highly
Mm.
educated. They are
Mm.
educators in the industry, for sure they are. They're
Yeah.
very, very bright. They're super bright. They're very good at business. But I don't know if I'd want that either, because I don't know if I'd have enough time to do the things I want to do in life. Do you know what I mean? So you got to weigh up what you want, don't you? Quality over quantity. I think it's important you keep quality. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So for me, if I lose clients because of it, because I don't have enough presence online, or I should do more. And I know every business mentor or people I know in business have all said, you don't post enough. You got such a lot of, like your history in sport. And
You have
yeah,
got a gift.
people just, like, I don't know, like, yeah, maybe I should, maybe I don't know if I will, but it's something I have to probably get over in my own head. But there's something in me that just refuses to play the game. I refuse to play that game. It's like, okay, it's a game, innit? Like, I just refuse.
But there's
And that,
people out there that that need the help, ain't they, at the end of the day? And I think especially young lads that maybe they don't know what they're doing, and I think you could really
I
speak
think the
to
young
them.
lads, it's of my understanding, and I'm not making a sweeping generalisation, but they can't handle me. I'm too tough on them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm too hard. Yeah, they're not. The youth of today are not wise the same. They are mentally a lot weaker. 100%. I'm far too hardcore for them. I do it in boxing. They crush them. But the people who stay do really well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's too
Yeah.
confrontational. It's too direct. It's too harsh. It's like, I'm not there as a friend. I'm there to make you better. It's my way or nothing.
Yeah.
It's not like, this isn't like, this is how I work. It's the way it is. But that's just the way. That's just me, innit? That's just the way I am. But
Yeah.
I'd help anybody out. I'd want to work with anybody and
I
everybody.
know.
100%. I'd
Yeah.
always help somebody in the gym. I've always, I'd help anybody if they needed it. I've just got a very unfriendly, miserable face, I think, when I'm training. So people leave me alone. But yeah, I always try. I think I always try to help, if I can.
Yeah, you do. You just train hard, that's all.
Yeah,
So,
I'm
and some people won't be interrupted, do they?
I'm focused there as well. So if I'm there, if I'm there a few hours a
you are.
day, and I've got a window to train for an hour or two, I've got to get it done, Anna. So for me, it's like I
Of
just
course.
don't want to be interrupted because I've got shit to do. It's one of them things. But that may come over as being slightly unapproachable. But I hope not. If it doesn't, please, if people watch this and people do see me, please, if anybody needs any help, please come and ask me. I'd always try and give people my time.
Definitely not. No. Damon, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank
you so much for coming on. I
my
appreciate
pleasure.
you so much.
My pleasure.
Very, very. Do you want to put your Instagram out there or not?
Yeah. And on that note, come to DH.
I'm going to share your Instagram whether you like it or not.
Yeah. It's DH Training on Instagram. My mobile number is no. But yeah, it's DH Training, isn't it? But yeah, you can find me on there and message if people need any help and stuff like that. But and I do respond to people. If people don't know, I always respond. If people message me and I see it, I always say, listen, I can't speak now, but as soon as I'm free, I'll come back to you. I always will. So if I don't get back to you sort of immediately, just bear with me. But yeah, I'll always try to help people if anybody needs any help. That's for sure. And if I can't, I'll point you in the right direction to somebody who can. You might need some help with I'll happily pass people on. I'd pass people to you, pass people on to other female trainers and stuff like that if they think they're more suited. 100% I would, because I'm not that bothered about sort of gleaning everything I can for more and more client wise. I'm not. I want people to get the right person. So there's a lot of bright people out there, a lot of nice people there to help you as well. Just research. I'd say to anybody, research. Make sure you ask some questions, and you want to see their credentials as well. What's their history? You know what I mean? Because ultimately, as someone who's just started, they're not going to be the same, are they? With somebody who's been around a long time.
When you've trained a lot of people, I feel like you do realise how little you knew when you were starting out.
I watch stuff every day. I learn every day. I watch certain people on YouTube, and I mentioned the names before. And I don't follow a lot of people. I watch some very specific people, and they're very very bright. I learn all the time, and I've been in sport forever. You're learning all the time. You always do some more courses. I've looked into doing some more courses on supplementation and stuff recently off people. There's some very very bright people I follow out there. So yeah. You never stop learning, Scarlett. Never.
Just have to follow the right ones, don't you?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me, Damon.
Welcome.
I really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And I will see you in the gym.
You will. Take care.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and I'll see you next week. Bye.